Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I've been pretty busy with other things. I'll go into that detail later, maybe in another video. But in this video, we're going to start working on the 1J. Finally getting it all prepped and basically refreshened. So I've got a whole bunch of new stuff for this. Graddy timing belt, like a serpentine belt conversion to delete the power steering and other stuff. I've got like front and rear main seals, valve cover, gasket, a pulley. There's a pulley down there, and just a whole bunch of other gaskets. I've got like the cam gear seals. So we're gonna do kind of an overhaul on this thing, but we got to get the cam gears off, and because this is a VVTi, it's a little bit more difficult. Not too much, but as always, you got to make sure you don't mess nothing up. I'm going to go ahead and get this cam gear center bolt loosened while everything's still attached and tight, so I don't have to hold the actual cam. So I'm going to get this one loose and this one, and I'll probably take these bolts off here to get this cover to where it can come off. Then we'll go ahead and try and get this this big bolt off that a lot of people have trouble with, so hopefully I will not. That was really easy. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get this other cam gear loose. Loose. Alright, so now it's time to go ahead and see if we can get this crank pulley bolt off. And I've got this pretty big impact here. The trigger is kind of out on it, so I got to put it on and then connect the air, because otherwise it'll just go. So we're going to give it a try. Alright, so after all the failed attempts at power tools, we're going to try it the old-fashioned way with a wrench and a long cheater bar, which this is the end of a jack. So we've got this rigged up here. We've got a screwdriver holding the, well, it's pushed in between all the bolts for the flywheel. That is then pried up against the engine stand here. So that bar may break, it may not. And then we've also got another screwdriver down there that we are going to hold pressure on it, since it doesn't come in contact with any of the sides. So hopefully good old snap-on will hold, otherwise it might break. But otherwise we might have to pull the motor off the engine stand and put the flywheel on. So we'll give it a go like this. Okay, hold on. Alright, so I've beefed up my process a little bit. I couldn't get it off before, and I was just kind of scared of it. I didn't want the screwdrivers to break. So I put a piece of angle iron in there, and I drilled 2 holes in the angle iron and put 2 bolts in it that usually go to the flywheel. Put 2 bolts in the angle iron, had to cut a little notch so it wouldn't hit this, and now we've got a good point of leverage here so the motor won't turn. Those bolts are cranked down a little bit, so they've got a good amount of threads inside of there. And now I'm going to go ahead and try and break this puppy loose. I'm going to heat it up a little bit for good measure, and we'll give it a go. Oh, man. All right, so here is my angle iron after that first try. So I am a little surprised it bent. I can see obviously why it bent because I had to cut this notch out. It wasn't nearly as strong. So now I'm going to go ahead, straighten it back out, and try and reinforce it. All right, so having to strengthen this up gave me a little bit of a chance to do some welding, so always good to practice. These little booger things in the middle, that's like from a long time ago, just when I was trying to get the welder set up. But if you look back in there in the corner, I think it looks pretty good over there. That was actually my second pass. That was my first one, so yeah, pretty good. Pretty good right there, all the way around. Just kind of trying different techniques. Trying to do like the cursive or like the back and forth, you know, just trying different things out. So practice makes perfect. So hopefully this will be strong enough, and we will go ahead and try it again. Oh, I got it. Holy crap. All right. Woo. Woo. All right, so got that loose. So that's pretty huge. So just a little tip here, I've never done any of this before. This is the first time I've ever taken down a motor this far. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and get this pulley off, and I've got the pulley puller. I've got that, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try, and hopefully everything works out. You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now remember, this has a keyway on it, so that as long as this is top dead center, we'll be able to put it back exactly the way it was. All right, so it's the next day. It's going to be a little bit hard to show you with one hand, but basically what I did, I went ahead and got the timing belt tensioner loosened. So now the belt, now the belt's really loose. Let's see it. It's loose, it can come off. So what I did was I scooted the belt back on the back of the gears. I've got the timing marks at top dead center. You can see the little groove there, so that's where I marked them. And I marked 2 spots at the bottom, one right here and one down here. And what I did, so I scooted the belt back and then I put the new timing belt on there and I lined everything up the way, basically just lined everything up the way it would be, and because it's scooted back I could fit it on the grooves. And then I marked, I basically transferred these marks to the new belt. So you can see there's a mark there. There's 2 marks here. Those would be at the bottom. So now I know I will be able to put this back on exactly the way the old one came off, because I am going to have to basically disassemble all of this because I've got new cam seals. So these cams are going to have to come off, new front main. So this is going to have to come off. So I've got a timing mark here for the top dead center of the crank. There's actually a little groove back in there, and then there's a little dot, so that will help, but I went ahead and marked that as well. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pull the timing belt off. Go ahead and try and do that, and then we're gonna try and get this gear here off. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and try and remove these cam gears, which the VVTi gear might be a little bit difficult because there is another bolt inside of it. So I might have to take the valve cover off and hold the cam while I loosen the one on the inside. So this one, however, will be easy. It's already loose. Like go ahead. Alright, so you just saw I was able to crack the bolt loose for the VVTi gear. That was a lot harder than I thought. I watched some videos and it didn't seem like it was that tight, but I guess it was. So it'll be really fun trying to get it torqued back down to spec. So now the cam seals are just behind this plate. I'm not going to pull it off just yet. I'm going to go ahead and try and work on getting this this gear here off. So I've kind of devised a little way, since I don't have like the proper tools to get it off. I got something built. All right, so what I have devised here is a little jig. Basically got another piece of angle iron. I got 2 bolts to thread into the existing bolts that are on here, and I put some nuts to space them out, and now it is tight. So I should just be able to go ahead and tighten these down at the same proportion, and then that will pull this back. So let's give it a try.
Too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Alright, so now that the gear is all the way out as far as my bar would go, so I think I should be able to pull it the rest of the way like this. But you got to make sure that these little teeth are not applying pressure to these teeth here. You don't want to break these teeth because your motor will not run right if one of these is broken. So hopefully everything goes well. Alright, so finally got the crankshaft gear off. Yeah, that took a while, but you know, I was being pretty careful, didn't want to break anything. So you can see it's got a keyway there, so you can't put this on wrong because it's got like 2 keys there. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this black cover off, and that will expose the 2 cam seals, and there is the front main seal. Alright, so at the first look, this is the back of that case I just took off. So there's a little bit of oil there, nothing really. But then there's some oil seeping here. Now I don't know if that was from when I took off the VVTi gear. It's a little bit oily under there around the seal. So, you know, I can't tell if the seal's leaking or if that was from the VVTi gear, but either way, if it is leaking, it's definitely a good thing that I'm going to be replacing it. And I didn't do all this work to replace good seals. So either way, it's going to be freshened up, should be good to go. So that is where I'm going to end this video. Got a lot of work done today, and definitely getting this motor ready to go in the Datsun. It's going to be all painted, all clean, everything. So definitely see you in the next video. We're going to replace these seals, probably paint the motor, paint the valve covers, do all that good stuff, and make it great again. So see you in the next one.